It began, as most betrayals do, in the spaces where silence feels just a little too curated. Logan and I had worked in the same company for nearly 6 years, different departments, same floor. We met over a server crash, fell in love between disaster recovery drills, and built what looked like a life together. The kind of couple HR referenced as functional synergy. His team managed creative accounts. I handled IT infrastructure and security. We didn't mix roles much. But we shared a badge, a benefits plan, and I thought a future. If you've ever been framed by someone you trusted, like, subscribe, and stay for the moment the evidence flips the power completely. But then he started smiling too wide when he said my name around coworkers, tucking his phone screen down a little too fast, logging hours into a CRM's account we didn't use. Still, I didn't confront. Not yet. Then came the HR notice, an internal inquiry into my conduct. Specifically, a claim, anonymous, but clearly planted, that I had been engaging in inappropriate digital communication with a vendor. The email hit me like a wire snap. It wasn't just false. It was strategic. And the only person who would know exactly how to draft something that looked legitimate was Logan. That night, I said nothing. He poured wine like it was any other Tuesday, asked if I wanted Thai or sushi, smiled like he didn't just try to erase my credibility. But I'd built the system he was trying to weaponize. And I knew exactly where the bodies were buried, digitally speaking. So I smiled back and opened a blank file titled Logan Timeline, Internal Only. Because if he wanted war, he forgot I'd already designed the battlefield. In IT, we say nothing truly vanishes, especially not when you've architected the backup systems yourself. While Logan was crafting the narrative of a wronged husband, I was reconstructing his digital trail. Quietly, methodically, and with the precision of someone who no longer needed emotion to stay motivated. I began with his work laptop. We had a mutual understanding. No spying, no snooping. But when you've been accused of breaching digital policy, the rules change. And Logan, arrogant as ever, had underestimated my reach. He didn't know I'd built an admin-level monitoring tool last fiscal year for redundancy testing. And that every login, every keystroke, every unsent message had been quietly timestamped and stored in an encrypted mirror folder for audit purposes. His deleted messages weren't gone. I recovered threads between him and a woman listed in his contact book as Val Advisor. There were no advisory roles in our company under that name. But there were dozens of chat logs, laced with emojis and late-night timestamps that overlapped perfectly with the nights he claimed I was the one working overtime. One line stuck out. Don't worry, she won't suspect anything. If she does, I've already started something that'll ruin her side first. That wasn't flirting. That was a plan. I screen captured everything, archived it in a secure drive, made 3 redundant backups, 1 local, 2 remote. Then I pulled access logs from our VPN portal. Logan had remotely accessed our home router at 2:14 a.m. 3 nights earlier, masking it as a work login, but routing through a private IP outside our jurisdiction. That connection pinged his exact location. Not our home, not the office. A boutique hotel 10 minutes from Val's listed billing address. And suddenly, the noise was gone. The suspicion, the fear, the self-doubt, they didn't belong here anymore. I wasn't the accused. I was the analyst. And this wasn't emotional. It was evidentiary. Timing matters in corporate warfare. Not just what you reveal, but when. I waited 5 more days. I needed calm, credible pressure points. I filed my counter-report to HR under Protocol 7.4, Ethics Retaliation, specifically the use of false claims to disrupt professional standing. I attached documentation. Not all of it, just enough to validate the scope and the smear. I didn't request a confrontation. I requested an audit. When the internal counsel's office looped me into a confidential thread marked sensitive cross-employee relations, I knew Logan had officially lost control of his narrative. The day of the meeting, I dressed sharp. Not flashy, authoritative. Logan arrived 10 minutes late, wearing the same blazer he always used when trying to project innocence. He saw me and did a double take. Probably thought I'd come to beg, or plead, or deny. Instead, I handed the investigator a hard drive. This contains metadata, server logs, time-stamped messages, and device locations, I said calmly. Each entry is mapped to the date cited in the original complaint made against me. Logan's smile cracked just slightly. The lead investigator looked at him. We'll need your devices after this meeting, Mr. Reeves. The meeting lasted 45 minutes. Logan stumbled, tried to suggest I'd hacked his system. The irony made me laugh, but only on the inside. He didn't know I'd built the security policies he was now invoking. I quoted his policy violations verbatim: data masking, cross-channel unauthorized device use, HR protocol abuse. The final blow? A video login from a hotel's front desk time-stamped precisely at the time he claimed I was sending illicit messages to a vendor. The guest name, Logan Reeves. The room went quiet. No raised voices. Just the slow tightening of the noose he'd braided himself. When the meeting adjourned, Logan stood frozen, jaw set, ego wounded, but still deluded enough to think this might blow over. It wouldn't, because he hadn't just betrayed me. He tried to weaponize my career. And now he was the one standing in a system I controlled. 2 days passed. Then 5. Logan didn't come home. He'd taken a sudden leave of absence to deal with a personal health matter, which HR had to approve given the investigation. But I knew the truth. He was scrambling, trying to find a new lie to where that wouldn't unravel under pressure. He sent me one message during that week. Can we talk? I didn't reply. His silence in the aftermath of that request was telling. Logan had always been quick with spin, witty in deflection, charming in denial. But now, cornered by digital truth, he had nothing to offer but a whisper. At the office, rumors began to surface. Val hadn't shown up either. The pattern was starting to form. But I didn't contribute to it. I didn't explain. I didn't leak anything. I just continued working quietly, competently, and with clean hands. The internal review concluded 6 days later. The HR director called me in alone. She said I'd been cleared of all allegations, praised my documentation, and formally apologized on behalf of the company. A separate, more serious inquiry had been opened into Logan's conduct: abuse of corporate reporting, falsification of digital logs, and violation of ethical partnership standards. That night, I packed his remaining things neatly. I didn't break anything. I didn't shred clothes or burn keepsakes. Just boxed his essentials, changed the locks, and left the storage key on the kitchen counter. When he returned the next evening, he knocked. Not banged, knocked. That was new. I need a place to stay, he said. Just until this clears up. I looked at him through the peephole. Saw the desperation swimming just beneath the arrogance. Saw the man who'd tried to destroy my life while smiling over dinner. And I didn't open the door. I spoke clearly, one sentence through the wood. You made your choice, now live in it. No yelling. No drama. Just consequence. And silence. The HR department's final notice came via secure envelope. Logan's resignation had been processed by mutual agreement. No press. No parade. Just a quiet exit, documented under ethical violations, non-disclosure. His name vanished from internal memos, scrubbed from the team's shared drives. A few colleagues asked what happened. I offered them nothing but a smile. The fallout reached further than I expected. Val's name surfaced on a compliance review. She'd received promotional privileges through Logan's internal referrals, and those now qualified as conflicts of interest. She was quietly let go within the same quarter. But that wasn't the real closure. That came when the separation papers were delivered to my office. I'd filed, of course, grounds, marital misconduct, and professional sabotage. My lawyer had timed the delivery with surgical precision. No courtroom drama, just paperwork, and an included clause requiring Logan to release any personal claims against my name, career, and digital property. He didn't contest. He couldn't. 3 months later, I got promoted. My new title sat etched into a brushed steel plaque outside my office. Director of Systems Integrity. Fitting, really. A reminder that I hadn't just preserved my reputation, I had expanded it. I trained 2 new hires that summer. Gave them both one piece of advice: don't mistake someone's silence for weakness. And don't build your lies in systems someone else designed. Logan moved out of state. I know because the mail forwarding notice was filed the day after his final severance check cleared. I never responded to his last message. You win. Because it wasn't about winning. It was about not being erased by someone who thought the best defense was a preemptive attack. In the end, the only thing I had to do was tell the truth, with receipts. And now? I don't just own my name again. I protect it for a living. If you've ever walked away from a storm you didn't start, but finished, like, subscribe, and stay for stories where dignity delivers the final blow.